Tineke and Marc, thank you so much for sharing your music with us today. It's really a pleasure to be able to listen to you again. How does it feel to be back on stage?
It feels very good. I mean, we live together and we've been playing in our living room, you know, and which was also very nice. But of course, the acoustics and just being out and yeah, it feels really inspiring. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how does it feel to be on a stage like this one, but without the audience? What changes?
Well, for me, when there's an audience, you can feel that they are listening, mm-hmm. and that makes me more concentrated. I don't know how that's for you, but so that's something I miss. That intimacy that you can hear an audience listening to the music that happens when we play together. That is an important element that I miss. But otherwise, I mean, the quality of the instruments and the acoustics, that's great.
Can you tell us a few words about the music you performed today?
Yeah, so we performed music of my latest album, which was released on March 20, right at the start of the lockdown. So this feels also very nice to be able to share some of that music. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wrote that music for a lineup of actually a combination. It was a quartet with bass, drums, saxophone, and trumpet. So these songs were written for actually an addition to that quartet with Chris Davis on piano. Mm-hmm. So some of the music has been played without or with piano. The first song was called Juno Lucina. The second one, Aspasia and Pericles, and the third one, Freya, which are all mythological female figures, which is also kind of the theme of my album. Mm-hmm. I wrote it because of this is my first release after my son was born. Our son was born, and so it was a tribute to motherhood and creation. So the title of the album is Freya, and she's the goddess of creation and fertility, actually. So, and I didn't only write music for mythological women, but also it was a tribute to my lineage, my mother and my mm-hmm. grandmothers, and all the women who inspired me and yeah, brought me up, let's say. And also, for example, I wrote a song for the Jerry Allen, the late mm-hmm. pianist who I worked with and who was a huge inspiration. So yeah, that's the repertoire we just played is from that CD. Yeah.
Wonderful to hear that this is a reflection also of an important period in your life. Marc, how does it feel to play this music, also knowing where it comes from, the depths of where it has been written?
Yes, it's always special to play the music, mm-hmm. Because I was there when she was composing it, yeah. Right? So I was somewhere in the house, and then I could hear her work on making the music, and then I could hear the final product, if you like, the compositions, mm-hmm. then when she came back from New York, I could hear the recordings, and so it's very inspiring to first of all to witness the creative process from up close, and then also to see how other people like the musicians in New York that Tineke recorded this album Freya with, they all respond very well and very positive to the music, and which is also great because this music is different than Tineke's previous albums and compositions. It's far more polyphonic and melodic. So now I mean I'm a pianist, so I like harmonies, and there's some harmony in this music. But the most important thing is the beautiful melodies that she composed and how these melodies interrelate. So it is for me. It's also an invitation to show a different part of myself. So yeah, there's a lot to say about playing this music. Yeah.
And speaking of the creative process, how was this period for you, artistically, creatively?
In the lockdown period?
Yeah.
Well, there were very positive sides to it. I mean, you know, as musicians, we're traveling all over the world and traveling within Europe, within Holland. So we're always on the move, basically. And we live a lot of different lives. We're teaching, we're performing, we are, you know, we're raising a family. And so it's usually a full, busy schedule. And now all of a sudden, it was all, you know, taking place in our house, and we actually enjoyed it a lot because there was a lot of rest in it. And yeah, we've been practicing, and we've been, you know, listening to music, and so yeah, I enjoyed very much the quietness and the extra time to actually spend with my instrument. So that was nice. Of course, I missed performing. I mean, during this lockdown, I was supposed to have a big release tour, so that didn't take place. So that, of course, was a little, you know, less inspiring. But we managed to move most of the gigs to next year or to the fall. But generally speaking, I think we were actually enjoying this time. Apart from, you know, the worries that you have for the future, and the pain and the suffering you see from people who are suffering from the virus, you know, and all the consequences it has for the humanity. So, but for our little micro life, it has been a pretty good experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that somehow. And I know, Marc, that you also work with music as a tool in searching ways to cope with societal changes. How do you see the role of music in society nowadays?
Oh, great question. I wasn't prepared for that. Well, one of the main things, one of the main characteristics of jazz music that I find socially relevant is improvisation, and the ability to apply a set of rules freely and playfully, but still responsibly. And that is something that I find jazz music is a great inspirational or educational tool for all people in society. And these days are also, for a lot of people, it means to improvise. But it also means more. It means also to survive, or to be creative and to think out of the box, or to adjust. I mean, it's incredible how soon people have, in organizational life, for example, have switched to a online, digital, electronic, professional life.
And this also means that the notion of life experiences has changed completely. How do you see your role as artists and the role of your art into creating a future where life experiences are still meaningful?
Well, I mean, there has been a lot of discussion whether we should just share everything online as musicians for free, you know, and I believe that it's also not a good thing to do. So, but in the same time, it's you know, art is one of the first things that people reached out to when they were in lockdown. You know, it's whether it's a book, reading a book, or watching a movie, or listening to music, you know, or checking out videos online from people, or in my case, I always find it very interesting to watch interviews with the artists that I find inspiring and stuff. So you want to kind of give the people access to your world as an artist, but you also don't want to, you know, to show that people can take it for granted or for free or something like that. So I think something like what we're doing today is beautiful because we, you know, I've always been very much supported by North Sea Jazz, and I feel very, you know, that they really, you know, helped me to shape my career and to support me and let me do my thing and always, you know, get invitations to play with my newest music. So there is a relationship between North Sea and me, and so I think this is a wonderful opportunity. But I'm also very happy that there are now a lot of initiatives from venues who invite us to do a kind of a similar thing, but then have, you know, ask a fee for the streaming, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of things, and but I haven't been extremely active with posting a lot of free videos on social media because I think it, you know, I mean, we work so hard as musicians to create our art and to it's a daily process, and I think we need to live as well, and we are in the lucky situation where we earn also a substantial percentage of our income through teaching, but a lot of musicians don't have that, and I think we have to be also, you know, solidarity towards the community, you know, and I think it will never really be again exactly the way it was before the virus, because it's just people are also still trying to find out how they're gonna deal with everything, and but I just hope that there will be a lot of support from the community and on a political, economical level, and that they see that we artists are contributing a lot to the society. So, and I think that will also happen. I'm positive and hopeful.
That's a very important message for those listening to us right now, that, you know, their support is really important for you as an artist, but also for the music and the cultural sector to be able to overcome this period and continue bringing arts into society and the important role it always played in society, actually. On that note, I really want to thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to listening to you more, hopefully live together with an audience very, very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.